Okay, welcome. Let me start this scan. This is my second scan. This is for the week of 4th of August. And let me start with SPY. Okay, with SPY, I have two scenarios. I can see SPY rallying from where it is, okay, and filling this gap because we have two gaps above, one macro on the daily and one on the 1 hour, and I can see, and I'm sure the market will go there. The only difference between the scenarios is if the market rallies from the beginning of the week or if it's only on the next week. I'm more inclined for the next week because next week we have Vanna and Sharma flows entering the market, and that will facilitate the movement to those levels. So I'm more inclined for the second scenario. If that's the case, and I'm betting on that, but we have to see how the market opens Monday. But if that's the case, I see SPY coming down to this level, to the level of around 613, and then rallying to fill the upper gaps. I'm going to start my position probably on the 629, around that level, but we definitely can see, and I bet no, but I can see the market sweep these levels to fill the gap. Yeah, I can see that happening for sure, and then I will enter. That will be the LPSY. That will be the LPSY. That will be the lower high, and we can also say that will be the retest of the change of character, since we broke this low, or you can say this one. If we go to the 2 hours, we broke this low, and that will be the retest of the change of character. So we have a lot of confluence, and yeah, everything tell me that's the scenario it will happen. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the beginning of the week, see how the market behaves. If we gap down, I'm betting that the market will fill this gap, and I probably will shorts on the beginning of the week. And as soon as we fill the gap, I'm gonna go long to the upper gaps. I'm gonna try to play both sides on these couple of weeks, since we have Van and Charm entering not this week but the week after. It's the OPEX week. I can see the rally happening on that week, not on this one. So SPY, it's everything. I'm gonna now go to the rotation I'm seeing happening on consumer staples. I already talked about this topic on the last scan I did, and to me it's the same. We still are in the we are in the lower part of the edge, so it's a good risk to reward opportunity if you want to enter this trade. I'm gonna wait for the breakout, because I'm focusing on individual names like Pepsi. You can see on the couple of the last days of the week, consumer staples fell around half of percentile, while SPY fell around 2.5, I think. Yeah, 2.5. My chart is a little bit messy, but yeah, around 2.5, yes. So I think the rotation is happening from tech sector to consumer staples, because if we go to the tech index, exactly it's this one, you can see that in the last couple of days of the week, the market or this index fell around 4%, so showing relative weakness, and consumer staples is showing relative strength. So I think the rotation is happening from tech to consumer staples. That's why I'm focusing on this week on shorting AMD. If we go to AMD have earnings on the 5th. Okay, so I'm betting on a miss on these earnings. I already entered the position. If we go to this time, let me come here, sorry. If we go to AMD, we go to 1 hour, you can see I already entered the position around here. So we have two scenarios too. If the market fall on this week, as I'm thinking it's gonna happen, I can see we coming down and filling this little gap before we rally with the market on the OPEX week to fill the rest of this gap, or probably testing the golden pocket for a sweep and then coming down. So I'm going to play earnings because I choose expiry date a little bit shorter for a earnings play. So I'm going to sell on this week and probably roll, or I'm going to sell and wait for the gap fill and enter another short position, or I'm going to roll for a longer dated contract. Okay, yeah, that's it on AMD. Tech sector is weak at the moment. If we go to Apple, we can see Apple is puking, and we have the same scenario. For Apple, I have two scenarios also. I can see Apple coming down, filling this gap, and coming up for a possible UTAD that we never had, and that would fill this gap and make three higher highs for a schematic. Okay, I can see Apple doing that, or I can see Apple testing the upper range of this gap, coming all the way up to do that, or Apple can just puke from here. But I'm gonna wait for Apple. I'm not gonna rush on these trades. And yeah, so tech showing a lot of weakness. I can go for another ticker, but I think it's not necessary. Tech is showing a lot of weakness. Consumer staples is showing strength. We saw the index is showing strength, and my main focus will be Pepsi or Pep. Okay, Pep, I can see Pep falling. We have inside candle here. I can see we fall to fill or to retest these breakouts, or a possible sweep to close the gap and to test the golden pocket for a bear trap. That will be perfect bear trap. So I'm gonna wait for this level. Probably not gonna wait for the gap fill. I'm going to start my position on the retest of the breakouts and add more on the sweep below at the golden pocket. So this is my my analysis, my goal on this ticker at the moment. When update on Discord, if you want to check my Discord, there I give more details. What else? I wanna talk about GME because no one is talking about this. I know it's hype, but to be honest, I'm starting to see a formation of an accumulation schematic on the daily. As you can see, I already drew the schematic. I think this is it's what is gonna happen. We saw sign of strength here. We saw one lower low with volume. It's not much, but it's higher volume on the lows. Higher volume on the lows, as you can see. And we can see probably a rally to test the upper part of the range of the schematic, and then we can see a spring, or this can be a spring, and this is the sign of strength. Okay, I want to wait to see if we reclaim the range, or if we test the range from below for spring formation. So I'm watching GME very closely because I have a lot of love for this ticker, for this name, and yeah, GME is on the watch list for sure. Now I want to talk about Uber. I talk about this name on the last scan. I had a position, a big position on this name, but I got out on Friday because I'm gonna tell you, because you can see I already I'm still think we are in a clear macro distribution, but to be honest, if we go to lower time frames like the 1 hour, I can see a little bit of an accumulation forming with 3 possible lower lows, with the volume at the lows, and Uber is gonna have earnings on the 7th, so I can see Uber beating earnings and rallying maybe to fill this gap here. If we do that, probably I'm gonna enter again. I exit because I had long strikes and short expiry, and I was not comfortable with that contract. So I got out, I took some profits, and now I'm gonna wait to see. We can continue the uptrend if Uber misses earnings, or we can see rallying to fill this gap. I don't think I think Uber is in the distribution for sure, so I'm not seeing a huge rally from Uber. On the best scenario, Uber gonna retest this upper trend line from back then. So we have to wait for Uber. I'm out, so I'm not gonna watch or focus on this week, to be honest. Let me see if if the market pukes from here. The 7th is Thursday. No. Next week, I think we're gonna see bullish flows enter. So if we have a rally, I don't believe this week we have to watch and see. Okay. Yeah. Now, what else? I have an eye on the phase energy. I talked about this one last week too. I see a schematic, an accumulation schematic. We have big volume at the lows, 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 and now we are sweeping. I think we are sweeping the lows from the last one. This one I'm gonna I'm only gonna enter this position after we reclaim this level. I'm not gonna rush. We have other names, we have a lot of actions, so not gonna rush on this position for sure. But if we reclaim this level of this low and turn it into support, yeah, probably gonna test because the price is good. I can have cheap cons, and we have some targets. I didn't establish. We have targets around 83, 78, 83. We have targets around, yeah, big targets above. So this one I would probably play commons. I'm not gonna play options on this one because of the price. Sounds good. Maybe both, I don't know. I will have to wait and see what this may do. And at least, and not last, I want to talk about the index of banks. Banks are not, I have the same scenario as SPY, to be honest. Let me come here. The same scenario as SPY. Distribution, okay. We have 3 higher highs. This is top. We came down, break, change of character, you can say. Now I want to see the same thing I talked about in the SPY analysis. I want to see these coming up and filling these gaps, sweeping these highs, this upper range, upper part of the range, and that if that will happen, it will be on the next week, not this one, but the next one, on the OPEX week. So we can see banks filling this lower gap, then using it as support and coming up to fill this one, and then coming down, because yeah, banks are not looking good. And yeah, to be honest, that's it. I talked about everything I wanted. I'm not gonna watch anything else. I'm gonna focus on these names, and I'm not gonna play every name I talked about in this scan, but I will enter big. Market is very clear, to be honest. It's very clear, and yeah, I'm going to play the second scenario. I'm going to play for the Vanna and Sharma flows on the next, not this one, the next week, on the OPEX week. I'm going to play the long, and then I will enter big on the short side. I'm very optimistic for this month, so yeah, let's get that money. Bye.